What's up, everybody? Hey, what's up, guys? Here in Madrid on lockdown. Everything fine so far? I hope you're all fine. Now I'm just gonna have my coffee. I'm gonna call my wife real quick and say hi to the kid. And then we talk lenses. Michael, what are you doing? You hide? Here, yay! Here's Michael.
Love you, Daddy.
So, what are the best lenses for YouTube videos or for your indoor videos? If you want to film like from home, if for some strange reason you can't go out to film. Well, it depends on your style. I'm going to show you a couple of lenses, and I'm going to show them to you from the Canon 90D, but also from the Canon M50. But before we do that, just take 1 second to click the subscribe button. Done? You haven't clicked? So I assume that when you make a video, you want to film yourself possibly like sitting like in an interview style. So the first lenses I can think of are the kit lenses, of course, but let's not talk about the kit lenses for a while in this video. Let's upgrade the quality. And that doesn't mean that you have to spend a lot of money, because I'm talking about some of the cheapest lenses in the market. And those are my favorite lenses that I use all the time. I use also other lenses, but these that I'm going to talk about in this video are the ones I always use for all of my videos. So let's talk about the first one. It's the 10 to 18 millimeters. It's a Canon EFS. What does it mean, EFS? That is meant to work on crop sensor cameras, APC sensor cameras, which are cropped 1.6. You have to multiply the focal length times 1.6 in order to know what you're actually looking at. It's pretty wide, great quality from 10 millimeters up to 18 millimeters. I don't think it loses any quality even when you zoom it all the way to 18. It's a IS, it has image stabilization, which is awesome, and is a SDM. That means that the focus, the autofocus is virtually silent. So very good for videos. The aperture starts at f4.5 when it's at 10 millimeters, and it goes up to 5.6 when it's at 18 millimeters. What does it mean? It means that you need pretty good light if you don't want to bump up the ISO, and by doing so you risk to get a grainy image. But I tested this lens at night together with the other lenses in a previous video. I think it was a couple of videos ago, before all this lockdown thing started. And feel free to check it out. Click here on the card, all right? It doesn't open more than f4.5. That means that it's very difficult to get a shallow depth of field, like a blurry background. And so it depends if you like it or not indoors, because outside for vlogging it's perfect. But for indoors, in an interview-like or presentation-like scenario, you have to see if you like it, to have almost everything in focus. Again, it depends on your style, on what you like, because I'm gonna put it on now. Like if you want to achieve a kind of like Casey Neistat style, this is the lens. like this lens because it's wide and I can zoom in whenever I want to say something like important or just underline something I'm saying. So this is what the 10 to 18 millimeters looks like, and I think it's pretty good. If you like this style, if you want to show your table with something you're doing, a tutorial or whatever, on the Canon M50 is good too. I've used it a lot. Also, if you're into photography, with this lens at 10 millimeters, you can get really sick shots. I'm wearing a lavalier microphone, but with this lens, you wouldn't even need to, because you can keep the camera so close to you, so near when you talk in front of it. Even if you use a Rode Video Micro, the audio will be good, because you won't get so much echo, because you don't have to stay so far away from it like when you use other lenses. Like, look how near I am, I can touch the lens. The next lens, 24 millimeters EFS, the Pancake lens, is aperture f2.8, so it lets much more light in compared to the 10 to 18 millimeters. So let's say you don't have good lights at home, you don't have to bump up the ISO so much with this 24 millimeters. The look is kind of different, the look you get. Now take a look at the 24 millimeters, different style. What's up everybody? What's up everybody? What's up everybody? Peter McKinnon here. No, this is not Peter McKinnon. But this is the style, the kind of framing, like you can frame yourself like this, proper lights, and this is what it would look like on the Canon 90D and the M50. As I already said, this is one of my favorite lenses because it's not only sharp, but the aperture at 2.8, open like a 2.8, gives you a very nice shallow depth of field. Not much, but enough to isolate the subject, in this case me, a little bit, enough for the background not to get like distracting. So it's good for interviews, presentations, and parts of tutorials and whatever, but for tutorials I believe the 10 to 18 millimeters could be better. It depends how you structure, how you make it, because if you want to show your table and you doing something, yeah, the 10 to 18 millimeter is better. With this lens you have to struggle a little bit in order to be able to do that, but if it's just you talking in front of the camera, and I mean, you can see something, you see, I can show you something, like there are things here, there is stuff. If I want, I put them in frame and I can show you. Just, it's a different style. This lens doesn't have stabilization. It's not important as long as you keep it on a tripod, because it doesn't move, it doesn't go anywhere, so you don't really need a stabilization. But in case you will want to use it outside, vlogging, yeah, you can use it, but still on a tripod. You put the tripod down, you press the rec button, you step back a little bit and you talk, because you can't just keep it like this. I already showed you in previous videos, you would not see, I mean, you would see something in the background, but not much, just pretty much just your face. So again, it depends on your style, because we're talking about indoor videos. And if you want to do something like this and talk about your day, create your tutorial, whatever, I think it's a good lens. It's not bad at all. I love it. This is what I use for all my videos. when I talk. As you can see, if you look at my previous videos, most of them were shot with this lens when I talk like this in the studio, living room. Did I say living room? In my studio. The next lens I would like to talk about, I think is the most underrated lens because I think it's the cheapest. It's the Canon EF 50mm 1.8 STM. What's good about this lens? Well, that it's just awesome. Starting with the aperture, like a 1.8, it's just great because it gives you such a shallow depth of field that you can completely isolate the subject and obtain such a wonderful blurred background. Great for B-rolls, no matter what you do. If you want to do B-rolls, if you want to shoot a product or something from relatively close, you're able to isolate it very well and everything else around like blurred, and it looks so nice. When you put it on the camera, the 50mm on a crop sensor multiplied 1.6, it becomes a kind of like an 80 or 85mm. That means that if you're not far enough from the camera, all you would see would be just your face. But if you're able to set it far enough from you with a lavalier microphone, then you can get a very particular shot. Great for interviews. Let me show you. All right, I'm sitting exactly where I was sitting when I used the 10 to 18mm and the 24mm. And look at the difference. Difference number one is so tight, you see? But the depth of field, how blurred the objects behind me are. Unless you want just a talking head video, let's see, I'm gonna show you if I put it farther away, if we can get a decent framing for an interview or something. Now, in order to frame myself like this and obtain this shot, I put the camera like 7 or 8 feet away from me. It's like 2.5 meters, I believe, or even more. So you really need either a wireless microphone or a boom pole with the microphone or a lavalier with a very long cable. But this is what you get with the 50mm for an interview. You see how everything like behind me is like blurred, what a depth of field, and also the colors are good. I mean, it's just a wonderful lens. Like I said in the previous video when I tested also this lens in low light, it's a no-brainer. It's set to ISO 100 of course, because this lens lets so much light in, and I have decent lights here, and f2.8. Tell me what you think about it in the comments down below. Oh, if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. All right, now let's go back to the 24mm and let's wrap it up. So you've seen these three lenses, what they can actually do, how they frame the subject, the kind of image you can get, the style you can get. If you think they're suitable for your needs, or for what you want, for the look you're trying to achieve. I almost forgot to use these lenses on the Canon M50, which has an M mount. For all three lenses, I use the adapter, which is this, the Viltrox adapter. With this, you can adapt EF and EFS lenses for your Canon M50 or the M6 or whatever. And I also use the Viltrox Speed Booster, but only with the Nifty 50, with the 50mm, because you can use this only on full frame lenses. Some people would say, no, you can use it also on EFS lenses. Yes, you could, you might. But, like I always say, if you try, you need to hack your lens and potentially break it. So I don't recommend that. I strongly discourage you from doing that. However, when you use the speed booster, for example on the 50mm, which is a f1.8 aperture, magically it goes down to 1.2, getting so much light in. And also the crop 1.6 of the crop sensor camera, with this it's less, it's gonna be less. If you put the 50mm and equals to an 80-85mm on the M50 with a regular adapter, with the speed booster you multiply that by 0.71, so I believe you get a focal of around 56-58mm. Please don't let me do the math. I suck at math. This is how you get as close as possible to the real 50mm on a crop sensor camera. Now there's something you need to do. You need to smash the like button, subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you in the next video.